Home. It is said that the best journeys lead you back home. Our journey has taken 20 straight games away from those that we love and care for. 1,270 miles traveled on a school bus. Through 22 cities and towns and 15 different stadiums. Each time those big wheels turned, each time falling asleep on a cold seat brought us closer to home. Traveling through those different cities and schools, how much we missed our home. That there is no substitute for our home. That there is nowhere like our home. It's only now, as our old journey ends, that a new chapter in our journey begins. And as the tall lights are once again turned on for the people of Shafter to gather as a community and watch their generals, do we see that our journey, though hard, was well worth it. So it is with great humbleness and excitement that we, your Shafter generals, get to finally say, we are home.
senior night phase 2. The cheerleaders have seniors too. Jimmy, are you ready to go down there? Okay, our first senior tonight, our first cheerleader senior is Haley Castro. Haley's been on the cheer team for all 4 years of high school, which gives her an 8-year career so far. Haley is the current co-captain of the SHS squad. She's being escorted by her parents, Jeanette Lewis Castro. Haley has been part of the swim team. She plans to go to UCLA and major in biology. Haley would like to thank her parents for always supporting her and encouraging her. Our next senior is Katrina Castro. Katrina has been cheering for 4 years. She's an ASB in the position of school site representative. She also participates in yearbook and link crew. She is escorted by her mom, Maricela Espinoza. She would like to give a big shout out to both of her parents for always supporting her. Katrina is planning to attend a 4-year college and major in political science. Our next senior is Haley Cruz. Haley has been part of the Shafter High cheer team for 1 year. She's also participated in basketball and volleyball and will continue on her 4th year of softball. Haley is escorted by her parents, Alyssa and Hector Cruz. Haley is planning on becoming a radiology technician after high school. She would like to thank her parents for always supporting her. Our next senior is Charlotte Franz. Charlotte has been on the Shafter High cheer team all 4 years of high school and is the current co-captain. She is escorted by her parents, Carice and David Franz. Charlotte has also been on the swim team and played piano and jazz band. She plans on majoring in chemistry in college. Charlotte would like to thank her parents for always supporting her and driving her to events. Our next senior is Jocelyn Hermosillo. Jocelyn has been part of the SHS cheer squad for 2 years. Jocelyn is also part of the FFA officer team. She takes part in the ASB. She plans on attending a 4-year university majoring in forensic science. Jocelyn is being escorted by her parents, Marta and Ephraim Hermosillo. She would like to thank her family for always being supportive in everything that she does and wants to do. Jocelyn wants to especially thank her sister for being the one who always pushes her to do her best. Our next senior is Ryan Hernandez. Ryan has been an SHS cheerleader for 4 years and cheering for a total of 10 years. She is also an ASB parliamentarian and in the link crew. She plans on attending Cal Poly San Luis Obispo and majoring in aerospace engineering. Her goal is to build an aircraft for the military. She's been escorted by her parents, Oscar and Teresa Hernandez. She would like to thank her family for always being supportive of everything she has done and wanted to do. Our final senior tonight is Michaela Patton. Michaela has been an SHS cheerleader for 1 year and has cheered for 5 years. She is being escorted by her parents, Petra Gomez and Michael Patton. Michaela has also been in color guard and dance for 5 years. She voluntarily coaches youth cheers for the Commanders. She plans on going to a West Coast university and becoming a pediatrician. She would like to thank her family for always being there and support through everything. That's your senior cheerleaders.
Welcome to tonight's matchup against the Shafter Generals and the RFK Thunderbirds.
Oh boy. Nope. The difficulty worked out. Can we hear us back in mission control?
Okay,
All right,
we're
let's
good
go.
to go. All right. Once again, this is Doug Thompson here from HQ TV, along with Jackson Sanchez. Jackson?
We got a good one tonight. Another good one. Probably, I think, I'm going to go on and say it, the biggest test the Generals have faced all year, in my opinion. They're playing a good Kennedy team tonight.
Yeah. Our last 2 home games, the Generals lost by 1 point in each game. Against Taft, they went for – no, it was against Chavez. They went for 2 to win the game and came up short, and then had an unfortunate penalty there late in the game that pushed them back. Instead of 4th and 1 or 4th and 2, it was 4th and 17. Those things happen. But I agree with you, because this is a point in the season where we have 2 games left. The Generals have already qualified to go to the playoffs. Now it's a matter of, respecting the league and getting a high as a seed as possible for the CIF postseason playoffs.
And the good news for the Generals is this is around the time where Perucci's teams usually start to get it in a way. They usually start to come alive and they really start playing their best football. I think we've seen that in the Generals' last game versus Delano. Freshman quarterback Ezekiel Osborne threw for 6 TDs. That's very impressive no matter what kind of team you're playing. And their offense seems to be clicking on a different cylinder right now as well.
Yeah, and, the fact that they had number 3, Alex Gary, back with them last week after a 3-4 week absence really helps add spark, because he's a dangerous return man for punts and kickoff returns, as well as at the receiver position. So I agree. I think tonight is going to be big. Kennedy comes in. They're a senior-heavy team. And, for those of you who aren't that familiar with Robert F. Kennedy out of Delano, this is their 14th year of being in existence. And the first 5 years on their football team, they only won 4 games. And since then, they've gone 66 and 29. So they've really turned things around, and they've, year in, year out, have been one of the dominant players in the South Sequoia League.
Yeah, and people look at their scores this year and they go, well, maybe they're not beating teams by that many points. But that's not that they're not just dominating. They're dominating games. They have a scheme in the offensive on the offensive side of the ball where they just control the clock. That's why you won't see them put up 40-something points a game, but they're going to have a lot of yards on the ground, and they could throw this year too. And their defense is what stands out to me. 3 of their last 4 games, we talked about it earlier, all shutouts. So it's going to be a big test for the Generals.
Yeah, especially, again, you know, we're not trying to make excuses, but the fact of the matter is we have 3 freshmen in key positions. A quarterback, Ezekiel Osborne, like you mentioned. We have Marion Osborne. No, Sloan, excuse me. Marion Sloan has a wideout and defensive back. And then we have in the linebacker position Nick Rossetti. And when you go against a senior team, a senior-laden team, that experience sometimes can help make a difference in these close games.
Yeah, I think the freshmen are really starting to come alive, though, for Shafter. I think in those first couple 6 games, they kind of got, all the jitters out, and they're starting to get used to playing at this varsity level. Sloan, I'm really impressed with just in his ability to block and play defense and all the little things he does that not necessarily everyone sees that he does for the team. And then Osborne, he's been great lately. Good freshman quarterback. And that linebacker's no one to sleep on either. He's a physical player in the middle of the field.
Yeah, he is. Speaking of Sloan, or excuse me, as Osborne at the quarterback position, you're right. He's hit on 76 out of 133 attempts for 1,478 yards, 15 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. His quarterback rating is a pretty impressive almost a 115. So, I mean, again, for a freshman, that's very, very good. I know a lot of NFL quarterbacks like have a rating level that high. When they face Kennedy tonight, they, like you mentioned, they do like to run the ball.
Yeah, so what Kennedy does on offense, too, that's really hard for a defense, they don't run no huddle, but you're going to see tonight they're going to break the huddle and they're all going to sprint to the ball and hike it within about 3 seconds. So as a defense, that makes it very hard to line up, and if you're not lined right, they're probably going to take it to the house almost every single time. That's what's hard about playing an offense like Kennedy's.
Yeah, look forward to seeing their running backs. They have Julian Sanchez, who's a senior, number 22. Salvador Sanchez, another senior, and Raquel De Leon, another senior. Those 4 running backs for the first 7 games have been the bulk of their running game. And the Salvador Sanchez, he's a big kid, 6 foot 205, and the other 2 are smaller, but I'm sure they've got the pretty quick feet, and they're stout-legged, so they're not going to be an easy takedown.
Speaking of Kidney's running backs, Shafter's got a running back, Rhodes. If he gets going tonight, I think Shafter will win this game. He's been unstoppable so far this year. If they can get that running game going, open up the passing game a little bit, I think they'll win the game tonight.
Cole Rhodes has been an impressive running back this year. He's a senior, one of the few seniors that Shafter has, but he's already gained he's 929 yards, and he scored 17 touchdowns. Yeah. And he's a tall kid, but he has what we call good football speed. He doesn't look like he's running very fast, but all of a sudden he's picked up 2, 3, 4 yards. And I agree with you. If they can get him going early, and to piggyback on what you said about Kennedy shutting out 3 of the last 4 opponents, if Shafter can get some scores perhaps in the first half, it might have Kennedy looking over their back and saying, hey, what's going on? But it should be an interesting game. They just had the toss. Shafter's going to be kicking off. Kennedy will be receiving. Kennedy will be going towards the scoreboard the first possession. And I guess pretty soon they're going to be getting ready for the playing of the national anthem and get ready for the kickoff. This is fun and exciting.
Exciting stuff. Yeah, I'm excited.
Especially, the weather's, playing nice. It's a cooler, about 74 degrees right now at kickoff time. By the end of the game, be in the mid-60s. It should be a really, really good game. And before we get started, get going too crazy, once again, for you people out there, we have high school students running this entire show, and they do an outstanding job. We have kids back there at the what we call Headquarters Central. We have kids on the camera, and without them, this would not be possible. All right now is the playing of the national anthem.
Thank you, Shafter High Band.
Kennedy is coached by Mario Milan. This is his 5th season, and under his guidance, Kennedy has a very outstanding 36-10 record, counting this year. They've really done a nice job in turning this program around the past 10 years.
Yeah, and I think that's what – there's kind of a rivalry game here too now, because these are usually the best 2 teams in the SSL. So it's really created this kind of tension between both sides. They got, in my opinion, 2 of the best coaches in the SSL are from Kennedy and Shafter, Coach Perucci and the Kennedy head coach. And, each squad is usually ready to go and ready to get after it. So I'm really excited to see what happens.
Yes, for those of you who might not remember, a few years ago when Shafter had their 13-0 season, and they were defeated in the Valley Championship game by Kennedy, who they defeated earlier in the season. So, to piggyback off what Jackson is saying, there's some heated feelings here, but both coaches, I think, respect each other. Of course, Perucci, this is his 7th year, and he moved into the number 2 spot for all-time wins in the Shafter list. Shafter's been 48-23 under his guidance, and I think we're in store for a really good game tonight. Have a decent crowd on hands. So, ladies and gentlemen, get ready. As they said in Jurassic Park, hold on to your butts.
Yeah.
We're ready to get a good one here, I think, tonight. Anyway, here we go.
It looks like it's another packed house for Shafter. I love to see it.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
it's good to get back to some normalcy. Number 20, Brian Guevara, and I can't quite make out. Is that 80? '85, Angel Garcia deep for Kennedy. Kick is taken by number 6 at the 25-yard line, and he's met with hard hit at about the 31-32. That was Gerardo Salazar, one of the wide receivers.
Look for Shafter to pooch kick all night. Kennedy does this thing in their kickoff return where they have two guys in the middle of the field instead of spreading them out wide, so you're going to want to try to kick it right there to go make them chase it or even recover the ball.
Number 12, Julian Orozco is the quarterback for Kennedy. He's multi-talented. He can run, he can throw. Got 3 receivers to the right, to the offensive right. The handoff up the front, number 11. That's the big guy, Jimmy Flores. He's their main rusher.
I'm surprised to see the pistol formation for their first play of the game. That's something they haven't done in a really long time.
Joel Gutierrez, number 56, on the tackle. The gain is about 4 yards. If you stop and think, teams have come into play Shafter. They put wrinkles in the game, it seems like, because they're going to try and exploit the youth.
Keep an eye on that receiver, number 1, Helm. He's a big playmaker for Kennedy.
2nd and 6. Ball's at the 37. And there's a pass complete out to number 6. Quick little 7-yard out pattern to the left side. Good enough for a first down. The ball is right at the Kennedy 45-yard line, 1st and 10. Once again, the pistol. He gives number 11, and he's immediately tackled again by number 56 for Shafter. 11 for Kennedy. Again, that's Jimmy Flores. No gain. There was a flag on the play. There's a procedure penalty against Kennedy. Marches the ball back 5 yards. The ball is placed at the 40-yard line, 1st and 15.
Shafter's defensive line is a real sleeper for the team. They've been getting after the quarterback lately. Honestly, if Shafter could win that defensive line battle and the offensive line battle, they're going to have no problem, I think, with this game. That's what it comes down to.
Looks like there might be some confusion. There was a receiver late coming onto the field. Anyway, here we go. Back to pass, looking deep down the right side. Receiver's open. He makes the catch, number 33, brought down on the Shafter 14-yard line.
That was a very good pass play by Kennedy. The quarterback for Kennedy has this pretty strong arm. You got to watch out for that too. And for the DB for Shafter, what you want to do there, you got to turn your hips a little bit earlier and kind of try to cut him off a little bit earlier. That way he can't get over the top of you.
The pass was complete to Hugo Laura. The ball, it's a good enough for a 45-yard gain, 44-yard gain. They put the ball at the Shafter 15 on the tackle, number 22, J.J. Vasquez. The gives number 45. That's the big boy for Kennedy. Jaquel de Leon.
One thing about Kennedy, they like to spread the love of the football around. That keeps everyone fresh. They've always done that. They've always had about 5 good players that can run the ball, and it really makes it hard on a team in those late quarters, especially when you have a team like Shafter that a lot of the players play both ways.
Pick up of 5 yards. The ball is at the Shafter 10-yard line. 2nd and 5. Give number 20 off the left side. Met by a host of Generals. Short gain. Number 75, that's Ceja, Geronimo Ceja. Number 20 was Esteban Orozco on the carry, gain of about 2 yards.
And now we're starting to see the old school Kenny offense everyone knows about. They kind of go in this wing formation. They just try to power the ball.
Off the right side, number 11 breaks up for a touchdown. He went totally untouched. Very quick run, quick score. Jimmy Flores, senior, 5'8", 185 pounds.
You know, for Shafter, though, you got beat on one big play that drive. They didn't drive the ball down the field. That would concern me more if they did drive the ball all the way downfield. So, again, just limit the big plays. You got to forget about it. You got to go back out there if you're that DB. Don't worry about it. Next play.
Number 8, Carlos Calderon, is in the kick for the point after attempt. Kick is up, and it looks to be good, and it is. So it's 9:23 in the first quarter. Thunderbirds 7, Generals nothing. You know, this seems to have been an Achilles heel of Shafter, is that deep pass.
Yeah, all season long, it seems like they'll have a team in third down like we saw right there, and we'll just chuck it up deep, and the other team will come down with it. Or it'll be a penalty flag of some sort. And sometimes, man, high school football especially, it's really hard on the DBs, especially if they're going to throw flags and stuff like that, because you can't really collision. You can kind of collision, so it just makes it really hard to play DB nowadays.
Yeah, and it gets back. I mean, you really have to have, it seems like, that perfect coverage, and don't make contact, but be able to find the ball and either tip it away, knock it away, or make the interception yourself. Going deep for Shafter, we have number 5, Brian Vasquez, and number 22, JJ Vasquez.
Shafter special teams have struggled in the past couple weeks, too. If they can get their special teams going and get them a little better field position, it will help out a lot this game.
Carlos Calderon has set the kickoff for the Thunderbirds. Short pooch kick. Picked up by number 5 for Shafter. He's up to the right side, breaks a couple tackles. And there comes a late flag. Brian Vasquez did a nice little return. He's about 15 yards up to the 34-yard line, but there is a flag. Dead ball, personal foul against the Generals.
That hurts. You can't shoot yourself in the foot like this against a good team like Kennedy.
So instead of being 1st and 10 at the 33, they'll march it back 18 yards, and they should take over at around the 18.
And as you look at this Kennedy defense, they got some big boys at linebacker too. They just seem like a really big and mature team. I think that's because they're senior heavy as well. They're going to be bigger kids. But that really helps on the defense side of the ball to have big athletes like that.
Well, we have Cole Rhodes, Ezekiel in the backfield for Shafter, looks like. It's good to see number 6 out there, Jesse Bernal, Alex Aguirre at the wideouts, and Marion Sloan.
Kennedy looks like they're going to play man-on-man coverage. If they do that, look for Shafter to go deep with either Sloan or Bernal out there.
Yeah, especially they're giving Sloan right now almost 12, 13 yards cushion. Have an official's timeout on the field. We still have a player down on the Kennedy side. Can't quite see what's going on with him. I hope that it's nothing serious. is.
Kind of stuff.
Hey, Jeff.
Oh, I just hear we're almost out of tri-tip. Get it while it lasts.
Tell Jesse he's got to be flat to the safety. Yes.
Okay, here we go. 9:16 left in the first quarter.
Run the football. They're physical.
Okay, it looks like we're getting ready to start again, and so we have Shafter 1st and 10 at the 10-yard at their own 10-yard line. Cole Rhodes is the running back. Ezekiel Osborne at quarterback. Looks like, you know, Kennedy's defense, they all stand up, so you don't know who's coming from what direction. As Osborne up the right side, getting out to the outside, makes a nice cut, still on his feet. Nice 7-8 yard pickup.
And if you look at Kenny's defense, they'll show all those guys, but usually they only bring about 3 or 4 and everyone else drops back. The whole purpose of that is just to confuse the offensive line on their assignments. But if you just stay in your gap, usually you'll be all right.
Emiliano Heron was on the tackle, not before Cole Rhodes picks up 9 yards, brings up 2nd and 1. The ball's at the 19-yard line. Nice run by Rhodes. Once again, the gift to Rhodes up the middle. He picks up enough. Looks like it should be for the first down. And it is, in fact, good enough for the first down. So that's a nice sign. 2 plays up the middle.
And don't be surprised if we see some run-pass option here on the outside. They're playing way off the ball on Sloan. It looks like if Bernal were to go deep, Sloan would have an out route that's wide open out there.
The ball's at the Shafter 22-yard line. Again, to give the Rhodes up the middle. This time he's met by a swarm of Thunderbirds for no gain. Initially hit by, again, number 8 for Kennedy. That's Carlos Calderon.
See, we saw there, that's their defensive plan. They just like to create havoc, really. Just create a pile, kind of just confuse the offensive line as much as possible, and that's what we've seen there.
Rhodes did pick up a yard and a half, call it 2nd and 8.5 yards. The ball is just inside the Shafter 25-yard line. Quick pass to Sloan, went through his hands, nearly picked off.
Those are the balls you would like to get back. You just like to come down with that. Even if he's going down, jumping for it, still a 5-yard pickup. It sets you in a lot better position on 3rd down.
Yeah.
But I would go back to it, though, because they're playing that far off. Keep on going at it. Make them come up on the ball and then take your shot deep.
They've got their tall man, Helm number 1, the 6'4", playing outside the outside linebacker. That creates kind of a tough one for the ball is intended on the left side. Number 6, Shafter to Bernal. Falls incomplete, so Shafter has to punt. Kennedy did a nice job closing off the run and a couple of errant passes, and Shafter has to punt and give the ball back. 7:49 in the first quarter.
And like you said before, Helm is a really good defensive player on the outside like that because he's so long and lengthy that makes it hard for the quarterback to read someone like that coming off the edge.
Ernesto Guerrero is in the punt for the Generals. It's a really good general bounce. The ball is all the way back to the 35-yard line. Ends up being about a 40-yard punt. No return. Back deep for Kennedy was number 6, Gerardo Salazar. So the Thunderbirds get their second possession at their own 36-yard line. There's 7:38 to go in the first quarter. The score still remains 7-0. And let's see what kind of defensive adjustments the Generals make. There comes the quarterback. Nice job. A little option, and
they run that really well. It kind of fooled the whole defense on that one.
Luciano Bernays was on the tackle, but not before. The quarterback, Julian Orozco, picks up about 13 yards, 1st and 10 at their 48-yard line. Number 22 for Kennedy, that's Julian Sanchez, tried it wide right, but a very nice job by Shafter's Koa Rhodes. Holds him to no gain. There is a flag on the play again.
It's going to go against Kennedy here, too. I think it might be a 15-yarder.
It's holding against Kennedy.
Be a 10-yarder. That's a good sign to see for Shafter's defense, containing the edge like that. They've had trouble in the past couple weeks, and it looked like on that play, they figured it out.
10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, so it basically brings up, no, it's still 1st and 20, they're going to say. The ball is placed back at the 38. This time the quarterback is back in the pistol. Bad snap. Over his head. He falls on it. That time the ball got over Orozco's head, and he fell on it back at their 27-yard line. Nice break for Shafter.
Yeah. See, this is the point in Shafter. You got to tell your DBs, just don't get beat over the top, because in the past, this is when it usually happens on either 2nd or 3rd and long. They get beat over the top for a big play. So just limit those big plays.
It is 2nd and 32. They're in the pistol. Ross goes back to pass. Gets a big rush. A long pass down that left side. The ball is incomplete. The ball was intended for number 33 for Kennedy. One of the receivers, Hugo Laura, he made the big catch before. Nice coverage by Shafter. Number 6, Jesse Bernal, was on him stride for stride. So once again, like you're saying, 3rd and long, big play for the defense.
That was a good play by Bernal, too, to lean on the receiver, kind of force his way out of bounds. It was really good coverage.
Once again, Orozco's back deep. He's back to pass. Here comes a rush. He steps up. He is under trouble. He is brought down. What a nice job by Shafter's defense. Number 7, number 24 for Shafter. That's Jesus Figueroa and Rafael Roman Amador threw him for a loss. That's a really, really nice stand for the Shafter defense.
So in the past, what we're seeing the Generals do now is they're starting to bring more pressure. Before, in the last couple of years versus Kennedy, we would bring pressure on the outside like they did there, because how their offense works, that kind of opens up the blitz packages for you. So see Shafter kind of try to get after the quarterback tonight.
Okay, it's 4th and 38. The ball is back at the Kennedy 20-yard line. Into punt for Kennedy's number 8, Carlos Calderon. And deep for Shafter to return. End over end kick. Number 6 is back. Let the ball bounce. No sense in taking. That's Jesse Bernal. And the ball is touched dead at the Shafter 37-yard line. So for Shafter's second possession, they have a little better field position.
And if I'm Kennedy, I'm not kicking it to Bernal. He's too dangerous back there. I think when I've been in the booth, I've seen him return about 3 kicks. 2 of them went for touchdowns. I wouldn't kick it to him.
Yeah, I agree. You get those end-over-end kicks that hit the ground and bounce funny. It's a recipe for potential danger, for the return team. In the backfield for Shafter, number 44, Christopher Espinoza, the sophomore running back. He is a tank. Fake inside to Espinoza and a quick pass out to number 3 with a nice catch by Alex Aguirre. He was immediately tackled, but he hung on. Very small pickup, maybe a 4 or 5 yards, but like you're saying, it's a 5-yard, 4.5 yard, 5-yard pickup. Just sends a message.
That's the RPO action we're talking about. Shafter's going to go back to that, I think, for the majority of the night.
Ball's just outside the Shafter 40-yard line. Another quick pass to Sloan. Nice job. I'll tell you what, pass across the middle to Sloan. He did a nice job, kept his feet moving while they're trying to wrestle with him. He spun and turned and picked up a first down. Nice job.
Now, with Shafter doing that, it's going to make one helm respect the pass more, and he's going to kind of back off the line a little bit. And that's when you get Rhodes or Espinoza up the middle and kind of goes hand in hand together.
Speaking of Rhodes, he's back in the game at tailback. 1st and 10, the ball at the Shafter 48-yard line. Gary back to pass, looking deep. He's got a man open, but just out. Just maybe about a yard too much. The ball is intended for Jesse Bernal. I couldn't see from here if he hesitated because there was a pump fake, but he was a good 5 yards behind the receiver.
That was a good route by Bernal, too. It was a little hitch-and-go route. And even though you don't complete that ball, Kennedy's got to start respecting it a little bit. It's kind of starting – they're kind of going to start having to worry about stuff they don't want to worry about.
2nd and 10. Rhodes still in the backfield. He gives throw up the middle. Breaks off to the right side, but he's hit very quickly. Maybe a short 1 or 2 yard gain. Number 65 for Kennedy hit Rhodes very quickly. That's Jaden Rios. He's a 6 foot, 270-pound nose guard. They give him a pickup of 2 yards. It's 3rd and 8. The ball is right just past midfield. Big play for the Generals here.
They're doubling up Bernal now, too, on the outside.
Quick toss to Rhodes to the outside. He gets to the edge. There's a flag on the play. Another flag on the play. Rhodes is bull wrestled down as he crosses the 45. He'd be short, but let's find out what these flags are. I'm going to guess possible holding. Yep, that's what we get, holding against Shafter.
There's been a lot of penalties already. It might be one of those nights where we see a lot of flags being thrown.
Yep, laundry night.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's too bad because Rhodes did a nice job, and he could have brought up a 4th and maybe 2. I think Prucci might have gone for it, but we'll never know. Now it's 3rd and about 20. 3rd about 22. The ball's at the right to 36-yard line.
If I'm Shafter, I might try to send Sloan and Bernal on a post route. That middle of the field's wide open right now.
Sloan goes in motion.
That's pass interference, I think.
Yes, we had. I tell you what, you called. They put. Looks like they put Sloan in motion, and then they sent Aguirre from the slot. At the H back, whatever, right across the middle. Looks like he was held. There's a flag.
And like you said earlier, Aguirre opens up this offense so much more. Not even just in the passing game, but he could block so well too. He's a big asset to have on your team.
Pass interference, 15 yards. Unlike college and NFL, it's not an automatic first down. Now it's 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. The ball is back to the Kennedy 49-yard line. A little more manageable here. Again, Rhodes in the backfield. Geary in motion. Osborne back to pass, thrown deep, has a man wide open. What a nice catch, and it's a touchdown for Shafter. What a great catch by Jesus Figueroa. That ball is good for 49 yards and a Shafter touchdown.
How about the freshman Osborne, too, doing the RPO action again, attacking the middle of the field. He laid it out there where he could go in and under and get it.
He did. I tell you what, he did lay it out there, and Figueroa did a great job of not breaking stride, reaching out. That was a great catch. Nice answer for Shafter to come back after they had a good defensive stop. Ernesto Guerrero into attempt the point after touchdown.
You can feel the energy of this game, too. I think this is the most energetic the crowd on both sides have been.
Kennedy kind of left the nest a bit early that time, did the Thunderbirds.
Yeah.
Okay, they're going to decline it because of probably getting too close. Angle, get the kick up. Kind of a low snap, but a nice job by the holder, and the kick is through the uprights. So at 2:41 in the quarter, we're all tied up, 7-7. That was a good drive. I mean,
both teams kind of beat each other in the same way. If you think about it, a long pass for Kennedy got him down the field, and Shafter hit that long pass. But if you're a Shafter, that's what you got to do. When Kennedy scores, you're going to have to answer so they can't control the clock like they like to do.
Yeah, and it was really good for the Shafter defense to come out on that second possession and stop Kennedy and force him to punt the ball. And what you said earlier about seeing a lot of flags, I hope tonight we don't see that because you really want to see the teams decide the outcome of the game.
This is a game where you want to see the kids just play and let the best team win. Don't let the referees get in the way of that.
Guerrero will be set to kick off. Again, deep for Kennedy is number 24 and number 25. That's 24, Adrian Palomo, and 25, Brian Guevara. There you go. There's your pooch kick. This time, number 4 has it for Kennedy.
And that should be a penalty there. You can't call a fair catch like that
and start to run. As Brandon Del Rio, he's a sophomore, did the fair catch, started the run. I guess the officials are going to say, you know what, we're just going to call it here, no harm, no foul. So Kennedy will take over 1st and 10 at their own 29-yard line. And big series for both teams. Can Kennedy move the ball? Can Shafter stop them?
Shafter's defense looked good on that last drive.
This time the quarterback is back under center.
Waiting on the chain gang.
Give up number 45, De Leon up the middle, just off the left guard. And he's met by a company of generals led by number 7, Jesus Figueroa. Touchdown maker.
Figueroa's playing a great game right now on the defensive side of the ball, too. He's in on almost every tackle.
They give De Leon a pick up of 2 yards, 2nd and 8. Let's go off the left side, number 11 this time, the touchdown maker. That's Jimmy Flores. This time met by, again, number 7 for Shafter and number 3. Number 7, Jesus Figueroa. Number 3, Alex Aguirre. Not before Flores picks up about 7 yards. It's 3rd and 3. 5-yard pickup. The ball is at the Kennedy 37-yard line.
I would watch for this read option play by the quarterback here. It's going to be a counter.
Counter, number 20. There's another penalty flag. That was number 20, Petey Barraza. Nice run. He had it picked up of the first down.
So for Shafter, when Kennedy runs those counters, they're going to pull the tackle in the guard or maybe even the center in the guard. And what you have to do, you have to meet them in the hole. You have to beat them to the punch right there so they can't get up the field like you just seen.
It's holding against Kennedy, marches him back. You know, like we were talking, we don't want to see, we hate to see the officials, but at the same time, but there's, you know.
There's a flag,
there's a flag,
yeah.
yes. And a lot of times these flags are caused because of the good play from your opponent being quicker and getting to a spot. So now it brings up 3rd and 8. The ball is at the Kennedy 30-yard line. Again, Roscoe's under center. A bootleg. He's got room to run. He's going to be running. Rossetti's chasing. Orozco still. Nice run. He gets across midfield. He's tackled by number 8 for Shafter, Luciano Baronillas, but not before he picks up 25 yards and it's into Shafter territory for a first down.
And he really made a nice move in the backfield on a Shafter defender back there. And Orozco's showing some speed too. I think people coming in this game didn't realize he's the athlete that he is.
48 seconds to go. The give is number 22 off the right side. This time he's really met head-on, had nowhere to go. That was Julian Sanchez, and he was initially hit by number 24, Rafael Roman Amador. And they're going to give him a pickup of about 3 yards, be 2nd and 7. The ball's at the Shafter 43-yard line. There's 20 seconds to go in the first quarter. It'll be interesting to see if they get the ball off.
Shafter's outside backers are playing pretty good right now. I think they kind of switched up the lineup a little bit, and it's working. They got way more physical players on the outside of the ball.
And that'll be the end of the first quarter. So at the end of the first quarter, we're all knotted up at 7 apiece. It's kind of like you said, you know, who's going to win the battle of the lines on offense and defense?
And for Shafter, if you notice, their veterans players and the veteran players they do have, they've really stepped up in this first quarter. They're making some big plays, especially on the defense side of the ball. Rhodes and Figueroa are getting after it right now.
Yeah. Figueroa has been pretty solid all year on both sides of the ball, and he's kind of an unsung hero. He's a junior, but he's been impressive. He does a nice job on offense, but I've been very impressed with him on the defensive side because he seems to have a good nose for the ball, and they're going to need every ounce of that tonight.
Yeah, especially playing a physical team like Kennedy. Scheme obviously does matter, but when you're playing a physical team like this, you got to match it or even go above that. That's what I think the majority of this game comes down to, too, is who's going to be the more physical team.
Okay, 2nd and 7 at the Shafter 43-yard line. Orozco under center. He gives to De Leon. Nope, another cross count, no counter. This time again, number 20, Esteban Orozco, and that counter play stopped by number 55 for Shafter. Parker Valderrama, a short gain of about 3 yards. It's 1 yard. It's 3rd and 4. The ball is at the Shafter 39-yard line.
I think we're in 2-down territory here for Kennedy.
Let's go back to pass under pressure. I tell you what, that was a nice catch. Had the pass was complete to number 45 coming out of the backfield. Jaquiel De Leon. Pass is good enough for 8-9 yards for a first down. Kennedy has the ball at the Shafter 29-yard line.
Orozco has impressed me this game, too. He's got pressure in his face, and he's getting balls out, and he's throwing pretty good passes to his receivers and running backs.
Single back in the backfield for Kennedy. This time it was like a sweep on the left side. That's number 20, made a nice run down the left side. Esteban Roscoe, he picked up another 15, 16 yards. First down for Kennedy. They're marching the ball down again.
The difference right there is Shafter got beat on the edge. They got the blockers out there, and that's a key to this game. Kennedy loves to run those counters to the edge and those jet sweeps.
The ball is at the Shafter 12-yard line, 13-yard line, so Kennedy can get a first down without scoring. And like you said, they keep rotating backs. Number 23 up the right side for Kennedy, another back, Salvador Sanchez. He picked up a good 7-8 yards.
Here come the heavy setbacks, too. Look to them. They're probably just going to try to go up the middle, I would guess, and just power it in.
Yeah, that's Jaquel De Leon. He's not very tall, but he's so thick-legged.
Yeah, those running backs are pretty much the hardest to tackle sometimes when all their weight are in their legs and they're just little freight trains coming at you.
And then also to complement him, they've got number 23 in there, Salvador Sanchez. He's 6 foot, 205. 2nd and 2. Touchdown. Number 41 that time. We don't even have a 41 on their roster. So whoever the mystery player was went off the right side, and that looked almost too easy. But with 9:39 to go in the second quarter, they score their second touchdown.
Shafter's going to have to play better red zone defense, too. That's both times Kenny has gone in the red zone, it's only taken about 2 plays to score, and they're starting to get in that rhythm you can't let them get into.
Calderon to set for the kick. The kick is up, and it's good. And that makes the score Thunderbirds 14, Shafter 7. Well, they marched, 65 yards in about 3.5, 4 minutes. Seemed almost effortless.
Yeah, when they get in a rhythm and that offensive line gets going and they start breaking the huddle in that 3-second pace like we talked about earlier, that's when it gets so hard to stop a team like Kennedy. You just can't just let them get in a rhythm like that. You kind of have to, like we see in the series before, they got a sack. It kind of threw them off their game a little bit. So that's what Shafter's got to do.
Yeah, and something that you pointed out to start the game, they really have a backfield by committee, and they've already used 4 different running backs, or 5, and they've been have done well. And you get those fresh legs, they can get a half step.
Yeah, you look at their yardage running backs per game, they're all about at the same area between 40 and 50 yards. So they all get the same amount of carries, and they can all do damage with the football.
Deep for Shafter is Brian Vasquez and J.J. Vasquez. And the short kick. Kick is to J.J. Vasquez. He kind of fumbles the ball at the 30. Comes around to the right side, and he is hit hard at about the 26-yard line. Initially hit by number 17 for Kennedy. That's Noel Duluth. So Shafter takes over 1st and 10 at their own 27. Big series for the Generals.
Yeah, big series.
Rhodes is in the backfield with Osborne. Bernal split out. Sloan split out. Figueroa split out.
I'm really surprised Kennedy's leaving the middle of the field really open like that. Now they put someone back there.
Give the Rhodes off the left side.
Another penalty flag.
Another flag. Rhodes is going to break a nice big run. He picks up about 23, 24 yards, but there's another flag.
One thing you can say, though, it's getting called both sides, I guess. So it's not one-sided or anything like that, but you just hate to see these many flags.
Well, yeah, and you watch that play again. The running back was 5 yards past, and but anyway, the officials call it. It'd be 2nd and 20. That was a nice run by Rhodes. He picked up a good 23-yard block run. Good job of blocking out there by number 6, Bernal, on the wide out on the left side. In the backfield is Christopher Espinoza for the Generals. Espinoza, he's hit. He's still running. I tell you what, he probably ran about 15 yards a game, maybe 3 or 4, but he bounced off 2 or 3.
He's hard to get down.
Yep.
He's a bulldozer.
Number 5, De La Cueva, found that out as he hit or was met by Espinoza and bounced off him.
I've really been impressed with Kennedy's outside backers, too. They seem like they're real physical, and they're the key to this defense.
Gain of about 3. So he's second and 17. Again, handoff up the middle to number 44, Espinoza. He's tripped up after a short game by number 42 for Kennedy. That's Sebastian Duran. It's bringing up third and about 14.
I think if you're Shafter here, I think you attack the middle of the field again if you're going to throw the ball. There's no one out there.
Rhodes is in the backfield for the Generals.
Looks like Kenny's actually going to rotate number 7 to the middle of the field just late. That's a good move by them.
Well, that was a attempted pass. We had a lot of pressure on Osborne. He tried to hit number 7, Figueroa, who had his man beat, but because of the pressure, had an errant pass nearly picked off. On coverage for Kennedy was number 28, Sebastian Castaneda. It brings up 4th down for the Generals. Not a good series.
If you're Osborne in that situation, it's okay to take a sack because it's, again, it's 3rd and long. I wouldn't just throw it up there like that. I think he's just trying to make a play, which I think all great players do. But right there, you just kind of have to pick your moments better.
I think number 22 is deep for Kennedy. There's a bad snap. They picked up nicely by the quarterback, or the kicker, I mean. Takes a shaft or bounce. This ball is going to bounce and bounce. With a very high kick. But it rolled and bounced by almost 45 yards, no return. I made a mistake. That was Salazar, number 6, deep for Kennedy. But the ball is spotted dead inside their 30. They're going to place it at about the 28-yard line with 7:10 to go in the second quarter.
You know, Shafter's punter and kicker, he's a really good young player too.
Yeah,
he's been knocking the snot out of the ball.
Yep, he's only a junior, so hopefully he'll be back next year. Orozco's under center. He's back to pass and thrown deep. Looks like he has the receiver wide open. That was intended for their big guy, number 1, Helm. He's 6'4", 205. He's covered by Bernal. Looks like the ball was underthrown. A little bit of pressure, but ball falls incomplete. 2nd and 10.
And Helm and Bernal have been going at it on that side of the ball all night long. 2 really good athletes going against each other. That's a fun matchup.
Once again, De Leon in the backfield. This time, what a nice job. Okay, they gave the ball number 22. Looks like on their like the little jet sweep, but this time Shafter was ready. Rafael Roman Amador really got in there quick. And nice tackle, good physical tackle for a 4 or 5 yard loss. That brings up another big play for the Shafter defense. It'd be really nice if they could get in and out.
Yeah, this is a big down. If they can get a stop here, go down and score, they're right back in it.
They place the ball at the Kennedy 24-yard line, 3rd and 14.
Kennedy likes to do this draw play sometimes. They might try it here. Nope.
Little play action. The quarterback was hit as he throws the ball. They had a little stunt come in there because number 3, Alex Aguirre, knocked the wind out of the quarterback. He's not feeling very good. The ball's well overthrown. Nice job by Shafter.
Those rip shots hurt. And a good thing about Shafter, when you play physical like this, it turns into a different ball game for you now. Their offense all of a sudden slows down a little bit. It gets easier to read their key players.
So 4th and 14. There's 6:17 left in the second quarter as we await Kennedy's punt.
And again, I wouldn't punt it to Bernal if I'm them. But they might try it.
Yeah, Bernal he's deep. He's standing back at the Shafter 45, backing up to about the 44. Comes a kick away from Bernal and hits a sideline and it bounces out of bounds. I couldn't tell if it hit out of bounds at the 50 or it bounced. Nope, they're going to say it goes out of bounds at about the 40-yard line of Shafter. So about a 25-yard kick, 30-yard kick, and Shafter takes over with decent field position at their own 40-yard line.
If you're Shafter, you have to score right here, right now. Last possession was a little rough. You just got to get back in your groove a little bit. I would like to see them try to get Rhodes going here in this series.
Well, he's in the backfield. Sloan Bernal out wide to the left. Fake to Rhodes, past the middle, number 3. Oh my goodness gracious. That was a nice call, like you've been saying there, open across the middle. A good play action. The ball was intended for Alex Aguirre. He had the ball in his hands and just couldn't make the catch. Ball falls incomplete.
And as being a receiver like myself back in the day, those hurt because I've been there, and it really sucks to drop a ball like that. You just can't let it get to you mentally, though, if you're Aguirre. Just next play, move on. It's part of the game.
Again, Rhodes is in the backfield. This time to give to Rhodes. He dances around, but he's met head-on. Nice tackle, number 5, Jude de la Cueva, after a short 2-yard gain. Actually, give him a 1-yard gain. It's 3rd and 8.5. 2-yard gain, 3rd and 8. The ball at the Shafter 42-yard line. 5:43 in the second quarter. This time the Rhodes off the right side keeps his feet moving, but he is tackled. Number 35 for Kennedy was the initial stopper against Rhodes. That's Emmanuel Zavala. They cross the 45. They give him a forward progress at about the 46. This brings out 4th down and 4. Looks like Shafter's going to kick the ball away, which I think, there's 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Pin him back.
Yeah, I would probably pin him back too. If you still have all 3 of your timeouts left too for Shafter, so you still have all those you could use on this next series to save you some time for one more possession.
Looks like Brandon Del Rio, number 4, is deep for Kennedy. Again, end over end kick. Ball hits on the 25, 26, 27. Takes a Kennedy bounce. Not a great kick, only about 26 yards, but Kennedy will have the ball at their own 27, 1st and 10 with 4:37 to go in the second quarter.
This is a big series for both teams right here. If you're Kennedy, you want to run down this clock, maybe get a field goal or touchdown by the end of this half of your Shafter. You're trying to go get them to go 3 and out so you get the ball back and tie this thing up before the half. And the key thing for Shafter 2, they get the ball at half, so that really helps.
2 backs in the backfield. The give is off the right side, little quick hitter. And that's again for Kennedy, number 11, Jimmy Flores. He picks up about 8-9 yards. The ball is just right at the Kennedy 35.5-yard line. A pickup of 7, 2nd and 3. Tackled by Shafter, number 56, looks like Joe Gutierrez. Give up the middle, number 45. And it looks like that's De Leon. He has enough for the first down, gain of about 4 yards. They spot the ball right at the 40-yard line.
If you're Kenny right there, number 45, you look for him to get the ball in short yardage like that. He's just so big, it's hard to stop him if you're Shafter.
Number 11 on the carry off the left side, a short gain. That's Jimmy Flores, initially hit by number 24. That's Roman Amador, and 75. That's Seja. Pickup of 3. The ball is placed at the Shafter the Kennedy 43-yard line. 2nd and 7. Hand off right-hand side. Looks like the offensive line got a great push that time.
Yeah, Kenny's offensive line is going to start getting going pretty soon if they can't stop this rhythm.
Kennedy's running back, number 41, that was he got hit, and he's down. There's an official's timeout for injured player. Yes. Okay. Right, okay. Can you hear me speaking? When I talk on the... Turn me up so you can hear me, because what I'll say is that we talk with... So at the end of half, within 30 seconds, we'll go to you, okay? I will say that we're going to be, earlier we spoke with Okay, we're trying to work out our technical bugs here. It's 3rd and about 2. Kennedy up the line quickly, and again the ball given inside number 45, just like you called it.
Like
it's gonna be close. All depends on the spot. But if I'm Kennedy,
I'm going for this.
I'm going for this.
Yeah. Especially you got 45 back there.
I think that's carried by number 45.
I think they're going to give him a first down, and they do. Looks like by the stripe of the ball. Nice job by Shafter inside line. Seja and Monreal, number 75, 76. But Kennedy has 1st and 10, 2 minutes and 5 seconds to go in the first half. Here comes a little counter to the right side. Number 22, this time it does not get much. Number 24, Roman Amador on the stop. That was 22 for Kennedy. Julian Sanchez, they came back with that counter and held him to a half-yard gain.
And I'm interested to see if Shafter starts using their timeouts here. They might want to try to get the ball back before the half.
He has 1:35 and counting. 2nd and, we'll call it 2nd and 10. Comes a jet sweep off the left side. Nice cutback. That's number 20 again, Esteban Orozco.
Kenny's backs, too, they come in all shapes and sizes, if you notice. They got little scat backs back there. They got bruisers. And then, they just are all over the place back there. It really helps them out.
Tackle by Sloan or Gary. Happened so quick, couldn't tell if it was 2 or 3. It brings up 3rd down and about 2.5. The ball's at the Shafter 42-yard line, 57 seconds. Here comes Kennedy up the line real quickly. Give the ball inside number 45. He plows ahead, and he has enough yards for the first down. Tackle by number 3, Alex Aguirre, but again, not until Kennedy, led by De Leon, picks up enough yardage for the first down.
We could see Kennedy to start using some timeouts here too.
They just called their first timeout. They call a timeout with 48 seconds in the first half. The ball is at the Shafter 40-yard line. This drive started at the Thunderbird 26. So they've marched 25 yards in about 3 minutes.
Really, Shafter's defense they've been on the field a lot, and they've been playing pretty decent so far, though, I would say. A lot better physically than they have been in the past, and their scheme seems to be working. They just got to limit those jet sweeps and those big pass plays.
Yeah, and I think it gets back to what you said earlier. They have fresh
legs going out there
all the time. Yep, here we go. 1st and 10. Now they're in the pistol. Pass out. Oh, a missed tackle. He dropped the ball, fumbled. That was interesting. Looks like Rhodes had that read all the way. The pass was complete to number 1, Helm.
Did they call it incomplete or did they call it a fumble?
Called the fumble. 2nd down. Rhodes came up real quick and could have tackled him for a loss, missed the tackle, then the receiver drops the ball.
We're having issues spotting the ball, too, out there.
Yep. Oh, that's funny.
that's a pretty bad spot.
Ross go back to pass. Here comes the rush. Looking deep. He has the receiver wide open. There was a mix-up. Had to be a mix-up. But the ball was complete. Number 1, the big boy, Helm. He was wide open.
That's the thing about Helm. He doesn't have a lot of yards on the season, but he has a lot of touchdowns. He makes big plays.
I want the Radical Sleeper because it just. Tell you what, Thunderbirds, like we said, they're well coached. And the kick.
And back there, it might have been a switch route too on the receivers, because usually when a receiver is wide open like that, communication is off, or someone got bumped and fell down, because he was wide open. He was all by himself.
The kick was up and good, and with 33 seconds to go in the second quarter, Kennedy 21, Shafter 7. Shafters put themselves in a tough situation. We have 3 timeouts left. We could possibly get 5-6 plays. Just depends on.
And I think if you're Shafter, that middle of the field's still there. I think you take a couple shots here. I think you have to. Down 2 touchdowns, who knows what could happen. You could even get in field goal range, get a field goal out of it.
Back deep for Shafter is number 22, J.J. Vasquez, and number 5, Brian Vasquez. Kennedy's pooch kicked it. I wonder if they'll keep doing that.
My guess is they would kick it deep here to try to pin Shafter a little bit more back.
But again, they're going to probably kick it away from number 3, Alex Aguirre, and they do. But they kick it a little bit deeper. This time J.J. Vasquez takes it at the 20, up to the 30, hesitates, across 35. Nice little return to the Shafter 39-yard line.
Shafter's got good field position, too. They got 26 seconds. With a couple timeouts left, they got some time.
See in the instant replay, he bobbles the ball but comes up the middle, hesitates, and makes a nice explosion before he's brought down. Rhodes in the backfield. The ball at the Shafter 39-yard line. A quick out to number 7. That's Jesse Figueroa. Nice completion.
Now Kennedy has a safety in the middle of the field. That's pretty good adjustment by their head coach. I'm pretty sure he also runs the defensive scheme for them.
A pickup of 9. They'll say it's 2nd and 1. 20 seconds on the clock.
I think I would look to go to Bernal here. He's your big playmaker, and he's one-on-one on the outside.
Play action pass under pressure. Pass is intended for number 2, Sloan. It'll look like Osborne just trying to throw the ball away. And Sloan made a valiant effort trying to catch the ball. 14 seconds. Ball is incomplete. Brings up 3rd down. And see that last pass completion. It's we'll call it a long one.
That's too bad, too, because Bernal was running open down the middle of the field. He just didn't have enough time back there to get it to him.
And you have to think that Kennedy is going to be bringing pressure. They're going to be bringing 6 guys every time. So 14 seconds. The ball near midfield. Do you think Shafter? I mean, I guess all depends on what.
I think right here, if it were me, I would try to get the ball to about the 35-40, and then maybe you have a couple more plays to take shots to the end zone. But I don't necessarily think you have to, go deep right now. But there's no safety back there. Attack the middle of the field again, I think.
Yeah, Bernal is out wide to the left with Sloan. Figueroa down to the right. Rhodes in the backfield. Here comes the rush, and he's down. Goes down. Good pressure brought down by number 43 for Kennedy, Sergio Gonzalez, and number 9, John Ponce. There's a timeout.
They should have 3 seconds at least on the clock left.
They say 7 seconds.
Now, if you're Shafter here, I think it's 3rd down. You're kind of backed up a little bit now. I say take a shot.
Well, I believe it's 4th down.
There you go. They just switched over the marker right now.
Yep.
4th down. Ooh, I don't know. It's kind of dangerous now because if there is some time left, you allow Kennedy to maybe get one more chance at the end zone.
So we have 4th and about 6. The ball is at the Shafter 42.5-yard line. 7 seconds to go. Shafter's trailing 21-7.
And on that last play, I know it's hard as a quarterback for Osborne, but right there you got to try to probably just throw that one away again, save a bit more time for yourself for the next play.
Well, Shafter has their offense on the field. I'm just curious if they're just going to try and run around and run the clock out. That's exactly what they're doing.
They got 2 seconds still, too, if they want it.
There was time was called out. Nice little quick toss out there. I think it caught Kennedy by surprise. Jesus Figueroa made a nice catch, stumbled forward for a 1st down across midfield. They put 1 second back on the clock. Here you go, Hail Mary. You might get a pass interference, might get a touchdown.
Hail Mary probably, or even a post route down the middle of the field. Kind of do a switch route maybe, try to get them confused. But I think you got to take a shot.
Yeah, I mean, we have some good receivers out there. This is where Figueroa steps up, and he always seems to make the big catch. Mm-hmm. And Sloan, he's so athletic, even though he's a freshman. But they've got him double up to the right side. So we'll see what happens here.
He's got some room.
Got the room. Nice pass completion, number 3, Alex Aguirre, who had a nice 16, 17-yard game, but time does run out. So at the end of the first half, Shafter 7, Kennedy 21. Earlier this year, we spoke with Brian Feaster about what's happening with the Spirit here at Shafter High. We had an interview with him. So right now, we will be going to an interview we did earlier with Mr. Brian Feaster, the Athletic and Activities Director. Here we are talking with Brian Feaster, the Athletic and Activities Director here at Shafter High. We've had a lot going on, and I'd like to get Brian's perspective of the past 3 years and where we are today with Shafter High. So Brian, good to have you here. Thank you for taking the time to spend with us here at HQTV.
Of course.
3 years ago, COVID, school shut down. What is the first thing that's going through your mind as an athletic and activities director?
How are we going to facilitate stuff for kids? That became number one when we shut down. We all know that kids come to school to be a part of activities and athletics, and that's a main factor for many kids of why they show up and why they do well in class. And that immediately triggered, like, okay, if we don't have this, what's going to happen, or how can we bring that back, or whatever limited scale we may be able to do? We got to figure out a way to make something work for the kids.
Yeah, I can only imagine. People don't understand what you athletic directors go through and activities. You're constantly in contact with each other, all the campuses, schools, not only here in Kern County, up and down the valley, trying to put together schedules, conferences. So I can just imagine what a logistical nightmare that was. Let's fast forward to today. Here we are now, 3 years later. How important are the traditions for each of the different campuses?
They're huge. No campus is the same as any other campus. Everyone's vastly different. And here at Shafter, I heard someone actually, I just talked to about, there are certain quote unquote legacy schools and how they've been around for such a long time. Or in our case, we represent a town, which is similar to like Arvin High, which represents a town, or even Bakersfield High. When you think of Bakersfield, sometimes they think of Bakersfield High because it represents, got the town name to it. So it kind of brings another level of importance and a level of traditions that go on. So for us, we've been around so long that there's so many things that are ingrained in the community and ingrained in every generation that comes up that we nonstop tradition things happen. We change some traditions. We try to move things around to adjust to the current times, but we want to still hold on to some of those older things that we do. And I think here at Shafter we do a pretty good job with that. And I think we're unique in so many ways, not only because we represent the town, but just because of our cool traditions that have started and have been around since the inception of the high school, or going back 50 years or longer. I mean, it's a really cool setting that we have here, and a canvas that I think as educators that we get to play a part in, and we're a bit part in a grand masterpiece that's been going on for such a long time.
Well, good. So here we are, homecoming week. Are we back? Do we have, are the kids excited? Are they buying into getting what you just said about the traditions?
This is the first year I call the first year really back. Last year we came back in a limited status, and we were only allowed to do so much. This year it's the way it was pre-pandemic, and so the kids are loving it. We're able to get out there. We're able to do more. I think the community is starved for it. I know the kids were starved for it, and they're now finally buying in again. Last year was really rough, I think, as an educator and the students, everyone knows that. But this year, it seems like we've now gone full bore again, and having our facilities back and everything else has really helped make those traditions and the excitement of being back in school where kids thrive. And I think that's the biggest thing. We're now seeing the kids take off again, and kids are starting to thrive. We're going to get past that. The past is the past. And the current kids, we're ready to go, and we're ready to create those traditions and continue the traditions and set new ones. And that's what we're doing right now.
Yeah, you mentioned the facilities. Here we have, the brand new track. They've redone the field, the bleachers, the press box, all the technology, new lighting. What are the new traditions? Because there has to be a different way of thinking, especially with that track, about how they approach going into the stadium, whatnot.
Sure.
So what are some of the challenges regarding a new way of thinking with these facilities?
One thing that for sure people are going to notice when homecoming, we're no longer going to have the traditional, what you think of as floats going around the track, because we can't have vehicles on the track. So now we're going to do the stationary or even mobile backdrops and skits and routines, which actually work out pretty well. It takes a while to get used to, but if you see the schools that have transitioned to this earlier, and it was like 2-3 years into it, you get a lot more kids involved. You get all different types of kids. You get kids who want to dance, you get kids who want to choreograph, you get kids who want to do art, you get kids who just want to hold the backdrop but they don't want to be in front of it. You get kids who want to do all the pre-planning and part of that but don't want to be out there on the field. Where before, on a traditional float setting, yeah, you get some painting and stuff, but a lot of it was just kids that night getting on that flatbed and going around. So that's really cool. So we're going to start that tradition. That's a big one. That I know is taking kids a little time to get used to. We did it last year because we had to, because we were moving from school to school, and we dealt with that headache, and that was something I never want to go back to. But I think that's probably the one the community's going to notice the most. And then, of course, we'll set new traditions as they come. I mean, we have a brand new facility that I can't even envision yet where it's all going to go. You know, with the scoreboard possibilities, with that technology, and just with the facility itself. I mean, the sky's the limit, really, here at Shafter.
You know, with waiting for, I mean, I know that prior to the pandemic, there was talk of finally Shafter getting new facilities. The waiting, because there's always going to be delays. Anytime you get the state involved with the construction delays, how much of a headache was that for you with the scheduling?
That was a disaster, and it really wasn't the disaster as much on me as it was for our coaches and our kids. I can sit back and create a schedule and figure out, yeah, it takes me a little while. I got to call schools and say, can I use your facility, and then work with them. But the burden really was put on all the coaches having to travel to practice. People don't realize that football, yeah, we can go out to the practice field out here and we can do it. But if you're a track and you need high jump pits and you need long jump and you need certain things, you can't do that just anywhere. So we had to go out, and for those kids, that's where I think the burden falls on. People continue to think like football is kind of the main sport around in many people's eyes, but you think of soccer. I mean, soccer is going to play 5 times the amount of games a season than a football team is, it seems like, you know, especially at least home games. And so it's crazy how things kind of work out and how those kids all got displaced and how you have to use portable lighting to make things work. And then schedules, we didn't even have certain games. We never had football. We had quote unquote home games one year, but they were either at North or at Centennial. The year before that, we did no home games. We were visitors the whole time. Because it was too much of a headache to even figure out facilities to go to. So, I mean, it really has been a burden, but I always say, I always felt bad for the kids when you're having to get on a bus every day to go take practice, and you got to go somewhere, and if you're dealing with transportation, that's a whole other subject. And then you got those coaches that are already donating. I mean, they're getting paid pennies on the hours. It's really a donation. And now all of a sudden, now they've got to leave the school site. They've got to travel, 30 minutes somewhere else. Then hopefully those kids get picked up. Then they got to come back. I mean, those are the people that really put the time in and the effort. And that's where the burden really fell, was on those people. And I felt bad for those coaches and those kids, and we're making the best of it now. And now we're going to be able to, hang out and live in a great facility. And that burden, or that was well worth it, I think. I think even the coaches now, they'll say, yeah, it was not fun, but look what we've got to deal with, and this is great.
That leads up to my final question. I mean, for the people who don't understand, Brian wears 2 hats, athletics and activities. They both coincide, but at the same time, there are different avenues that you have to navigate. And you've said continually it's for the kids, and I really believe, because people here who know what's going on see you work for the kids. And so the final question was, now that we're here, looking back the last 3 years, has it been worth it?
Oh yeah, hands down. I think anybody could see what we've got out there, the state of our facility, just the possibilities of being able to host different events. We've really opened up the avenue in the future to do what we want to do. And our kids, second to none. I mean, you want to come out here, you want to play a game in probably arguably one of the best high school stadiums around, we have it. You want to come do track, it's the newest thing around here, we've got it. So it's been worth it. It's been a headache. It's been a long time coming. But I think no, I don't want to go through it again. But I definitely think if you ask everybody, the final product, hands down, worth it.
Great. This has been Brian Feaster, the Athletic and Activities Director here at Shafter High. Thank you for your time today, and for the last 3 years, I know you've been busting your butt for our kids. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Doug.
Have a good day. Okay, that was Brian Feaster, Athletic Director. We talked to him earlier in the year. If people have not sat in his chair or any chair involved in the athletic directorship, and he's doing the 2 roles of athletic director and activities, thankless job. And I know all of us here at Shafter High School appreciate the effort that Mr. Feaster does for our campus, our kids, and for the community. See, right now we're having a lot of young cheerleaders out there in the field. This is Shafter's last regular season home game. Of course, for those of you who are quite familiar with Shafter, I don't have to remind you how important next week is. It's Wasco week. And I know in talking with Coach Prucci earlier in the week, he thought that the youth of the Shafter team would actually work in their favor, not having to worry about, Wasco. And to be focused on the game tonight. Hopefully, Shafter can get back on track here as we get ready to start the second half in about 4 minutes. I know Jackson was talking earlier in the game about controlling the line of scrimmage, and it seems like that in the first half, you have to give credit to Kennedy's offensive line. They seem to have the slight edge.
Yeah, right now, especially at the end of half, they started to wear down Shafter a little bit, which is a little bit concerning. They got those running backs that they rotate in and out. It makes it hard on Shafter.
Yeah, you said it. I mean, it plays out. You get fresh legs. It's hard to tackle. I was just mentioning to our audience about next week being Wasco week.
Yeah.
You played here not that long ago. What is it like?
That week, you really got to control your emotions that week. That's what first comes to mind. And it's simply put, you have to win. It's a no-lose situation game because that's the game I'll always remember personally from playing all those years, the Wasco game. And that's when even when you're 8 years old playing younger when you play Wasco, you always remember those games. But another thing, too, is you have to keep your emotions in check because if you let the hatred and stuff get to you all week and then you go out there, you don't even remember what you're doing sometimes. But, yeah, it's at Wasco next week. I don't know if I'm going to be at that game. It's kind of hard for me to watch games at Wasco High, so I don't know if I'll be down there.
I hear that from a number of people here from Shafterville. Yeah, you're right. I know a lot of people that played here 50, 55, 60 years ago, and they remember especially their senior year or their junior or senior year if they were on varsity. Nothing else. They'll recall the season, but they remember that Wasco game. Right now, we hope that Shafter can kind of get things turned around. I mean, they're down 2 scores. They do get the ball back, and it's so critical that they can.
I would say it's probably a must-score drive right here. Just come out in the second half, set the tone early. I would throw the ball a little bit more out there maybe, or get Rhodes going. It's either one of the two. Get him in a rhythm. Dedicate yourself to the run, or just try to throw the ball out there more to Sloan, Bernal, your playmakers out there.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. It seemed like when Rhodes did get a couple good runs off, there were some penalties. Of course, that's work on both sides of the ball. So, again, with this young team, and I hope people don't get tired of hearing that, but youth does create some good things and bad things, and when you're a 15-year-old kid out there, 16-year-old kid, you're going to make some mistakes, and that's what makes high school football so fun.
Yeah, and exciting. And we were talking about Wasco Week a couple minutes ago, and that's another thing for these freshmen going into their rallies and the Wasco Week activities. It could be a lot. You could feel the pressure going into that game. So I think this is kind of a good game to have before Wasco. It's a little bit of a rivalry already. There's a ton of people here. It gets you kind of ready to go into that game.
Yeah, and speaking of the freshmen, some of these freshmen, even sophomores, they've never experienced Wasco Week because of the the lockdowns and shutdowns, and so I think next week will be really, really interesting. Let's hope that we can get out of this game and have a good comeback, get a victory. No injuries. It's
a player on Kennedy that really surprised me with his physical play is Helm. I realized he was such an asset on the offensive side of the ball, but defensively, at outside linebacker, he's making plays out there too. Number 5 defensively for Kennedy's been doing a very good job. And they're just a senior-led, and I think you could kind of look at them and tell they're seniors. They're old. They're kind of a lot bigger than some of these Shafter players, and they're just a physical football team altogether.
Yeah, they are. I mean, and Shafter's been playing physical. We've had, a couple drop passes here, and again, that's what makes, in my opinion, high school sports really tough to beat in terms of the excitement. And it's like Forrest Gump said, it's like a box of chocolates. You just don't know what you're going to get. Kennedy's done a nice job putting pressure on the freshman quarterback. He hasn't had one of his better games because he's throwing on the runner off his back foot a lot.
And I can't wait to see him mature through the years and grow, because usually he might, you never know, he might be about 6'5", and he'll be able to run the football when he's a senior, when he grows into that body. And he's going to be exciting to watch for a long time, I think.
Yeah. Again, we've got these 3 freshmen, and that really makes a difference when they become juniors and seniors and they have, 30 games under their belt. And knowing the kind of kids that they are and talking with Coach Perucci, they're going to be able to, like you were just saying, set the tone and make a big difference for the team.
And you don't ever want to look ahead because your season's right now. But in the next couple of years, Shafter's going to have a really good football team when these freshmen and sophomores go into juniors and seniors.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to look ahead, and you're right. But again, because you've played for Perucci, and a lot of work these coaches do in the off season, not just necessarily on football X's and O's, but developing these boys into becoming young men and accepting the responsibility and to accept the challenges.
Yeah, to me, the best thing about playing football for Perucci, too, it prepared me for, college and not just football stuff. You might have to do an assignment, and you might not have a lot of time, and you just got to put your head down and do it and don't complain. And that's really what football teaches you. It teaches you how to adapt to things, how to overcome things, and just, get better at life, which is why I love it so much.
Yeah, I agree. It troubles me sometimes when people attack sports and athletics as a whole. I mean, you have to have a good balance, but the challenges that athletics lay before any individual, boy or girl, to put themselves on the line, work hard, be dedicated, and to go to school, get your grades up. It does prepare you for life, because as we all know, life is not fair.
Yeah.
All right, we're getting ready to kick off. This time we have Rhodes deep along with J.J. Vasquez. General's making a little bit of a change. I guess they're going to have Kennedy pick their poison. If I'm Kennedy, I don't kick it to Rhodes.
No, I don't kick it to Rhodes either. He's too dangerous back there.
I've seen years ago, and I don't know, we used to have our deep guys line up in tandem, and the better one always break towards the ball when it's in the air. But here we go. Getting ready to start the third quarter. Kennedy is on top, 21-7. Calderon is set to kick. Officials all ready. Cheerleaders are cheering. People are eating their goodies. Here we go. Kick is up. Pooch kick. Back to Vasquez. Again at the 30, the 35. So he's hit, and he's brought down. The ball was loose, but he was down. Officials immediately point the ball down.
Vasquez, too, he's trying to catch that ball with his hands, and on kickoffs and punts like that, you got to let it come to your chest and just let it sit in there. If you try to go with your hands, it's going to bounce around like that.
And I was incorrect. He took it at the 20, and he was tackled at the 25. It'd be 1st and 10 for Shafter. And like you're saying, here's their very, very all-important series to start the second half. Rhodes in the backfield along with Osborne. The give is to Rhodes up the middle, to the right-hand side. Tough run for 5 yards.
Rhodes just seems to always be leaning forward. He seems to always get some yardage out of nothing, which makes him such a good back.
Brought down by number 43, Sergio Gonzalez, middle linebacker. Not before he picks up 5 yards. 2nd and 5. He does. He runs with knees high, and he's deceptively fast. Again, he gives to Rhodes up the middle. Falls forward for a short gain.
Some adjustments Kennedy has made. Number 25 for them is now in the middle of the field. He's not really offset anymore. So I think they're just trying to take away the deep posts and stuff like that. So look for Shafter to start connecting more outside the hash, more outside passes, maybe some out routes.
It's 3rd and 4. The ball's at the 32-yard line. Quick pass inside to Sloan. Has a nice little 8-yard pickup. This time Sloan caught the ball first. Good enough for a first down. He was tackled immediately by number 3 from Kennedy. That's Guillermo Pompa. But not before he picks up 8 yards for first down. The ball is at the Shafter 38-yard line. 10:20 to go in the third quarter. 1st and 10 for the Generals.
Thing that helps too is Sloan and Osborne are both freshmen. They're going to have that connection and chemistry really good by their junior and senior year.
Once again, Rhodes up the middle. They're really testing the middle of that line. And he picked up a couple of yards.
Brought down by number 5, Jude De La Cueva.
Tackled by number 5, Jude De La Cueva. Pickup of a short yard, 2nd and 9. The ball is right at the Shafter 40-yard line. Again, given the Rhodes, but this time he is met for a loss in the backfield. Number 43 initially stopped in there. That was Sergio Gonzalez, along with number 2, Emiliano Heron. Loss of about 3 yards. It's 3rd and 12. The ball is placed back at the Shafter 37.5-yard line.
Gonzalez is he got going last half too. They're sending him on blitzes up the middle, and he's really getting through the line. He's starting to make some big plays.
9 minutes to go in the third quarter. Low snap, pass across the middle. Intended for number 7. Had a step on the defender, but Figueroa had a step on the defender, but a little kind of a bad snap, and he had to hurry the throw.
Well, I think what it was that Geary went in motion. I think it kind of hit his leg a little bit as he was. They're lucky that didn't bounce off and not go into Osborne's hands. But I think a good play by Osborne, just kind of throwing it out there, throwing it away a little bit. Just save yourself for the next series you have in the game.
Shafter set the punt. Guerrero set the kick. The ball at the Shafter 37-yard line. Here comes a rush. High kick. Get a good Shafter bounce, though.
That'll be 1st and 10 Thunderbirds on the 30-yard line.
A 33-yard kick after a potentially bad snap.
That was almost real bad, too. The Kennedy guy was right there. I thought he was going to go for the block.
Yeah, they had pressure. Deep for Kennedy was number 6, Gerardo Salazar. So Kennedy takes over after forcing Shafter a quick out. With 8:36 to go in the third quarter, it's 1st and 10 for Kennedy. The ball is at their own 30-yard line. They're in the pistol look. Hand off left side, cuts back up the middle. Roman Amador on the stop. Number 23 was Julian Sanchez. Salvador Sanchez, the 6', 205 running back, picked up 4 yards. 2nd and 6. The ball is at the 34-yard line. Again, the pistol set. Sanchez in the backfield. Pass out to the side, number 1.
Fumble the ball.
There's a fumble.
That flag's going to be on the hurdle, too. You're not allowed to just hurdle players like that in high school.
Quick pass out to Helm. He made a very nice athletic move, hurdled the would-be tackler. They might say that the ground caused the fumble. I don't know, but there's a flag on the play. Here comes the call. Personal foul against Kennedy.
Helm is a big-time playmaker, though. That was a
That was
good
a pretty
athletic play
move.
right
yes,
there.
Yes, it was. And I tell you what, you have to be impressed with Orozco, the quarterback. He got the ball out quick. Nice tight spiral to his big receiver. Moves the ball back. It's now 2nd and about 7. The ball is placed. Well, they haven't. They're trying to figure out where to place the ball. From the spot of the foul, they'll go back 15 yards. So the spot of the foul was around the 40. They moved the ball back to the 25-yard line. So now it'll be 2nd and 15 at the Kennedy 25-yard line with 7:45 in the third quarter. Again, the pistol look. Roscoe back to pass. Looking across, hits Helm. Helm was at the 35-yard line. Pass was complete and wrestled out of bounds by number 33 for Shafter.
Another good pass by Orozco right there, too. He's hitting his guys right on time.
That was Nick Rossetti along with Cole Rhodes, wrestle Helm out of bounds. Pickup of 10. Now it's 3rd and 5. The ball is at the Kennedy 35-yard line. Got 23 Sanchez. But again, Roscoe passing way outside. This ball is complete. Number 25, a nice catch, hit immediately, but not until he picks up about 12, 13 yards. The ball was caught by number 25. That's Brian Guevara. Good coverage in the play.
I'm really impressed by Orozco again. I know I just said it, but that was a really good pass to float it in there, number 25. And Kennedy's really the big difference I wasn't expecting. They could throw the ball this year a lot more than they have in the past.
1st and 10 at the Shafter 48-yard line. Officials timeout. They have a chain gang problem over there. So 6:28 to go in the third quarter. Kennedy is on the march again, 1st and 10 at their own 48-yard line.
You see Shafter players trying to go for the strip, and that's good. But what you want to do, the first guy comes in, secure the tackle, and then the second, third, fourth guy got to come in there and try to strip the ball out. Because if you're just going for the strip, you're not going to be able to get him on the ground.
Again, the Sanchez off the right side. He got to the edge, and he's running hard. He's a big running back. He's still on his feet. Knocked out of bounds. Salvador Sanchez onto the right side. He picked up about 16, 17 yards for a first down. He got to the edge real quick. Rafael Roman Amador knocks him out of bounds, but again, nice run by the running back.
Kenny's starting to gain that rhythm now. They're starting to move the defensive line of Shafter. They're running on the edges still, and their running backs are so rested right now. It's really starting to show.
Sanchez still in the backfield in their pistol look. Pass going deep. It's number 1, Helm. He makes the catch. And they say he's in bounds. What a nice catch. Helm, who's 6'4", was going against J.J. Vasquez, who's 5'7". But there's a flag on the play. That was a nice passing catch.
That was a nice catch by Helm, too, on the sideline like that. And it was just a mismatch. That's good by Roscoe. You got to realize your mismatches on the field. 5'7" versus 6'4", you got to attack that. Just throw it up and let your playmaker go make a play.
Okay, they call it dead ball personal foul. So would that negate? Because then
they called another one right now too. So if it's a dead ball after the play, they should mark it back from where he caught that ball.
That's what I'm thinking. But maybe the official, maybe it's just a personal foul. Either way, it negates a nice pass and reception. They instead of being 1st and goal, now it's first and 25. The ball is right at midfield. There's 5:04 in the third quarter. And Roscoe's back to pass. Going deep again to Helms. Helms makes the catch, and he fights his way. Well, we're right back where we were play before.
Helm's starting to get going. He's just a physical. He's probably the most athletic person on the field right now. It's starting to show. He's just a big body. So when he gets out there, it doesn't look like he's running that fast, but he has such long strides. He's moving.
And once again, there was a mismatch. You had, J.J. Vasquez. You have 6'4" against 5'7". Was a flag. They pick it up. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it just fell out of his pocket.
Yeah.
Needless to say, the ball is 1st and goal. The ball is at the Shafter 7-yard line. And it just unfortunate, but it's been what has happened. You get a long yardage. They throw the ball down and either pass interference or completion. This time they've got 2 backs in the backfield. Get number 41. He's a mysterious, we don't know who he is. We apologize if anybody from Kennedy is watching this telecast. He was not on the roster, but he goes to the right side.
Kennedy's had this ball the majority of the third quarter. That's not what you want for Shafter.
Yeah.
They almost right here, you can't let them get in the end zone. I think Kennedy goes for it on all second, third, and if they have a 4th down, they'll go for it there too. You got to hold.
Here we go. 2nd and goal from the 5-yard line. Again, there's number 45 off the right side, and there's a big push. Looks like he might. Nope, they're going to call him down just short of the goal line. There's Rossetti in there. Seha. It's 3rd and goal, the ball at the 1-yard line. And you know that, if you're a betting man, you know that De Leon's going to probably get this ball.
Everyone thinks that. I wouldn't be surprised to see them here kind of fake him up the middle and take the quarterback as like an option play like they did earlier in the game. But, yeah, it's still 3rd down. I might just give it to the big man.
Got the old full house backfield. This time they give it to Sanchez right up the middle. And they say he gets in for a touchdown. They had him, looks like he might have been stopped, but the side judge calls him in. And
it's a tough break for Shafter right there, not scoring and then Kennedy scoring on their first drive to get the ball back.
And like you say, there's 3:08 left in the third quarter. The game's not over, but when you're down 3 scores and you haven't been able to stop them,
Especially with Kennedy's offense. When you just run that clock out, it really makes it tough on Shafter.
The kick was no good. So if there's a
could come back and
come
back and bite.
There's a break. I mean, there's many times you see where a team is down, all of a sudden the team that's ahead, they miss a PAT, and all of a sudden it sparks life.
Yeah.
So a 3:08 to go in the third quarter. The Thunderbirds 27, Generals 7. You're on Shafter sideline. What do you do?
If I'm the coach, I'm just telling my guys, look, senior night, you're down big. It's time for the seniors to start leading this team. All it takes is really one play to get you back into a game, get the momentum on your side. I think I'm here. I'm talking to Rhodes. I'm saying, hey, we need you to go out there and we need you to run the ball and just make a play. And really just start relying on your seniors. Great players make big-time plays and big moments, and this is a moment where you have to make a play.
Well, they go back to Brian Vasquez, back with J.J. Vasquez to return the kick. And if Kennedy holds true to their pass form, they'll be kicking the ball to J.J. Vasquez. Calderon set the kick. Pooch kick, this time taken by number 9. Hit by his own man, but knocks him forward. That was actually some of Shafter's best. That's Jonathan Escobedo.
He got rocked around by his own teammate, but actually propelled him forward for a couple more yards.
Nice job. What's nice about that, here you get a young man who's, in the up back position, and he does what he's supposed to do. Catch the ball, secure it, get positive yardage. Shafter can start with decent field position. 1st and 10 at their own 41-yard line with 3:08 to go in the third quarter. Rhodes is going to be in the backfield with Osborne. Figueroa, Bernal, Sloan are the wideouts. Osborne back to pass, looking deep for Sloan. Had a step.
Looks like it might be roughing the passer, too. I think we got hit kind of late.
Personal foul, roughing the passer is the call. I'll tell you what, I was impressed. I was watching the quarterback, Osborne. He knew he was going to get hit. He laid the ball out there very nicely. And, Sloan had a nice route just over his outreached hands.
That's what you love to see by a quarterback, like you said. If a quarterback's willing to stay in that pocket and knowing he's going to take a hit and still deliver the ball, that's like big time for a freshman quarterback.
Nice play, 15 yards. Now they're inside Kennedy territory at the 44, 1st and 10. Nice catch. Low pass to the outside. The ball was intended for and caught by Alex Aguirre. Pickup of about 6 yards.
Thing that worries me is that they're getting a lot of pressure on Osborne. If he gets hit at the right time when he's throwing that ball, he kind of go anywhere. So you got to be careful.
Pickup of 5, 2nd and 5. The ball at the 39-yard line. Again, Osborne back to pass. Steps up, looks, throws down the field. That was intended for Sloan. And, you don't know, you don't like the second guess, but it looked like maybe somebody was zigging when they maybe could have been zagging or just a little off timing. But, again, pressure.
Again by Osborne, though, I haven't seen a freshman quarterback step in the pocket and go through his reads like that in a long time. So he's doing what he has to. He's doing his job.
Nice job by Rhodes picking up the pressure. Sloan rolling out. Nice pass, nice reception. The ball is caught by number 7, Jesse Figueroa. Sloan rolling out. Pretty smart move. Get away from the pressure. Good enough for a first down. 2:13 The ball is just inside the Kennedy 30-yard line.
If you're Shafter, you got to score before this quarter ends. You got to give yourself more time.
Pass was intended across the middle for Bernal. He was open. It's coming across the middle. You gotta be fearless, and you can't. Look like he might have kind of floated across the middle a little bit. Again, sitting up here in the comfort of this booth, easy to say. 2nd and 10. Ball outside. Here goes Gary. Nice block. He's down inside the 15-yard line. Great job out there blocking. Like a slip screen or something.
Valderrama was out there, 55. The big lineman got out there. And
yes, he did. He was out there and did a great job blocking. He's watching the replay.
Look at Aguirre here come too. He takes out that corner pretty well.
Hey, 2 linemen right there. A nice job by Sloan on that. Nice pickup. 1st and 10. The ball to 15. There's a flag in the play. Offsides.
We're starting to see some life from Shafter now. They're starting to stay in it.
Yeah, this is a tribute to these kids. I hear, again, easy to get their heads down, but like you called it, they needed a drive to make a statement to themselves and pick themselves up and get a little momentum going their way. 1st and 5. The ball's just inside the 10-yard line. Rhodes in the backfield. Quick toss to Rhodes on the left side. Good blocking outside. He runs and he steps inside. Touchdown for Koa Rhodes. What an outstanding job of blocking by the wideouts.
Yep.
You called it earlier.
Sloan and Bernal. And that's what Sloan, we talked about him earlier, does so well. Check out on the edge right here.
Both right there. Look at Sloan.
And
You've
Bernal's
got Bernal out there and Aguirre. All 3 wideouts. Outstanding job.
So I like that technique too Bernal used. He goes upfield. He makes his DB turn his head, and it makes a lot easier block when he gets around.
Guerrero into kick. Low snap. Nice job by the holder.
Again, that PAT could come back and haunt Kennedy towards late in this game.
I'll tell you what, very nice drive by the Generals. They marched down the field, started off with a nice pickup by the up back, Escobedo, and Shafter's offense marched right down. Good quick passing. And like you said, Osborne did a really, really nice job of stepping up in the pocket, take some shots, and show a lot of poise. And a great job by the O-line on that last so quick,
Valderrama did a good job on that screen getting out there. That big boy was moving down the field. You love to see that.
Yeah. So here we go. Shafter's offense did a nice job of moving down the field, scoring. So now they pass the baton to the defense. Say, come on, boys.
Wake up. Let's get a stop
Let's get a stop. So with 1:01 left in the 3rd quarter, it's 27-14.
One thing about Perucci's teams, too, they never quit. You'll never see them give up in a game, and it really keeps them in games.
Deep for Kennedy is Guevara, number 25. Looks like number 20 is Esteban Orozco. Comes a pooch kick. Fair catch is called and made at the 28-yard line. Number 28 for Kennedy. That's Sebastian Castaneda. I'd like to see him kick that pooch a little deeper, maybe.
Yeah, just a little bit deeper.
A little deeper pooch.
Yeah, they got good field position right here.
If you folks out there watching this, again, we in no way, shape, or form. That's interesting. I guess they spot the ball where the fair catch signal is made because he caught that at the 28. Mm-hmm. Nonetheless, 1st and 10 at the Kennedy 30-yard line, 56 seconds to go. And Kennedy has in the backfield De Leon. Give to De Leon at the middle. Not much before he runs into a platoon of generals led by number 7 and number 24 and number 33. Here we go. We got Figueroa, we got Roman Amador, and we got Rossetti.
If you're Shafter, watch out for Helm on the outside again. He's back out there.
2nd and 8, 2nd and 8.5. Ball at the 31.5-yard line. Again, they give up the middle and the left side. 45, De Leon, he's just like a little tank. And he just bowled over.
And running backs like that, usually they're the only running back on the team, so they get kind of worn out towards the end of the game. But he's on fresh legs. They got about five tanks on that team that can run the football.
Kennedy was in no hurry. They're letting the clock run down, and there's the end of the third quarter. Again, Kennedy up over the Generals, 27-14. They'll have a 1st and 10 when we come back, or we start this. I think like we're on TV commercials. Oh, my gosh. Been watching too many college games. But anyway, they'll have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 42-yard line. And Shafter needs to stop, don't they?
Yeah, what it comes down to here is just, how bad do you want it really? Just how much heart do you have? Just everything in your power right now just to create a stop. Really comes down to tackling, though. The running backs for Kennedy are physical, but you got to go for their legs. You cannot hit these guys up high. They will run you over.
Shafter's missing Ethan Jimenez. He's usually makes a lot of noise on the defensive end. Hopefully he'll be back for the Wasco game.
Yeah, one missing piece on defense can kind of shake up the whole thing because you got to move guys around in the positions they haven't played before and things like that.
Especially this year with Shafter's numbers being weak, thin. Here we go, 1st and 10. They're in the pistol look. Orozco back, quick pass outside number 33. Rhodes missed the tackle, but he's wrestled down by Roman Amador, but not before a pickup of about 13 yards for a 1st down. On the receiving end of that was Hugo Lara.
And Rhodes right there, he's attacking the outside shoulder of the receiver, which you can't do because you're going to overrun it. You got to attack that inside hip, that inside shoulder. And if he does that, he won't allow for the cutback to happen like that.
Nice pickup of 13 yards. The ball is at the Shafter 45 for a 1st and 10, 11:25 and counting. Get it up the middle. Number 45 came to the left side. That was De Leon, but not before number 55, our beast, Parker Valderrama, just grabbed him by – in fact, I was impressed. He grabbed him by the waist and said, no, you stop here. Held him to no gain, 2nd and 10. The ball remains at the Shafter 45, just inside the right hash mark.
I'm surprised Kenny's still, like the play before that, they're still throwing the ball as much as they are, especially with being up and being the 4th quarter. I figured they'd just try to run this clock out.
Well, you see right there, De Leon goes out and comes in, number 23, Julian Sanchez, a fresh set of legs, another big back.
Helm and the quarterback are talking. Look, he might go to him.
To Sanchez, the right side. There's Seha. Nice job. Give the ball to Sanchez, trying off that right side, off that B gap, but Seha beat his man inside to no gain.
I think here comes a pass to Helm. I just have a feeling that they're going to go back to him. He's made some really big plays this game.
It's 3rd and 10. Got Sloan on him right now. He's back to pass. Looking to the left side this time.
That's a good throw.
That was a great throw. I mean, threw it over the top of Rhodes and hit the receiver.
He's played a really good game, Orozco, tonight. That was, like you said, getting hit, throwing it over Rhodes, and completing that pass on the line. That was a really good pass.
Complete number 22, Sanchez. Number 6, Gerardo Salazar. Pick up for a 1st down once again, 3rd and long, and they're converting. I don't have the percentages, but I'll bet they are 60, 70%.
I'm interested to see the pass yards for Roscoe, too, this game.
First and 10, 9:08 to go in the game. Low snap. Roscoe under pressure, looking, running, getting tackled for a loss. Again, nice job there. Number 55 for Shafter, Parker Valderrama, really put the pressure. And then number 7 came in, Jesus Figueroa, and finished him off. They'll give him a loss back to the Shafter 35-yard line. Be 2nd and 14. And you hate to say this, but it's almost like Kennedy has them right where they want him.
Yeah,
Long.
these long
Second
distance
long.
like this, yep. They haven't ran that counter in a while, too. I'm curious if they go back to that. It was working earlier in the game.
Well, they're in a formation that looks like they're going to either pass the ball or give it to Sanchez. He's in the backfield, number 23. And the give is to Sanchez and hit immediately. What a nice job. Number 24, Rafael Roman Amador, came in from the right side. And, I mean, great defensive play.
This is a huge play. If you're Shafter's defense, you have to be able to stop the 3rd and longs. It's killed you all game. You got to step up here.
The ball was placed back at the Shafter 37 and a half yard line. They'll call it 3rd and 17. 7:45. Right now, the clock is definitely as big as a enemy as Kennedy is right now. Sanchez in the back. Roscoe looking deep to pass, throwing down the field. Ball went in and out of the hands of number 11, Jimmy Flores. Covering on the play was the freshman, Marion Sloan. Dodged the bullet there.
Yeah, we dodged a big bullet there. Shafter did. Just went. That was another great throw by Roscoe, though. He's been putting it on the money all night long.
And Roscoe took a good shot, too. I think your hero of the night, Valderrama, gave him a good little friendly reminder that, we're still here. So the ball is placed at the 37-yard line. They potentially could pin Shafter deep. Deep for Shafter is Bernal. Let's see if he can get a return off. I don't think he's going to. The ball is high off to the left side, and it bounces.
It's a pretty good punt right
Pretty
there.
good punt. It's going to look like inside the 15, depending upon where they spot it. It's going to actually be spotted inside the 10-yard line. A very good punt, very good coverage by Kennedy. Shafter will take over 1st and 10 at their own 8 or 9-yard line, depending upon the actual spot. 7:24 to go in the game. Kennedy still on top, 27-14.
Tell you what, too, if Shafter could score here in the first, say, 2 to 3 minutes, they got a chance in this game.
Well, we've seen them the last previous home games. They can score as quick as anybody.
Yeah.
They have some very explosive talent out there. It'll be interesting to see if they put pressure, if Shafter runs a screen, gets Rhodes out to the edge for a quick pass. Here we go. Osborne under pressure, throwing is outside the pocket, incomplete, and somebody's down there for number 65. Looks like he was slow to get up, but he's hobbling back to the huddle. That's Jaden Rios.
It's good on Osborne to throw that away right there, too. You don't
Yeah.
want to take a safety in that situation.
Or a sack.
Yeah.
Well, he brings up 2nd 10, the ball at the 9-yard line. That's where they officially spotted it before. 7:18 in the game. Bernal's down here 1-on-1. And again, there's that middle wide open. So it looks like Kennedy's going to roll the dice and bring 6. And here they come. Osborne going deep, got a man open.
Oh, just overthrew him a little bit.
Marion Sloan just slightly over his hand. Had a step. That was a good job again, though, by Osborne. Laid the ball out there.
Just off by a step.
And Osborne took a shot.
Yeah. He's been taking a couple shots tonight, and he's staying in there and delivering balls, which you like to see.
3rd and 10. Shafter has to get a first down. They don't get a first down, they can't get the ball back deep in their own territory. Rhodes in the backfield. Sloan rolling out. He got hit from behind and tackled, brought down by number 43 for Kennedy. That was a nice defensive play. That's Sergio Gonzalez. Loss on the play. Shafter has to punt. They'll be punting from about their 3-yard line, looks like.
Now it's a must-stop situation for the defense, too, because Kennedy could run this clock out if they get a couple first downs.
Yeah, and they have to have a, here you go, you're thinking a tight punt formation. Back deep for Kennedy is Gerardo Salazar. You know they're going to be coming. They have to. 4th and 15.
Snap's got to be good, too. Oh, no.
Bad snap over the head, out of the end zone, safety.
I'll tell you what, though, a safety still keeps you in the game because it's only a 2-possession game still, being 14-29. So it's good that he kind of rolled it out of bounds, but still, you can't let that happen if you're the snapper.
Yeah, it's difficult because now they have to have a free kick from their 20, so you're going to give up 20 yards on your kick, and you give them 2 points, and they get possession.
Yeah. At least the only really good thing that comes out of it is you could pin him, a little deeper in field position, but still.
Yeah, that was tough. I mean, you just hate to see something like that happen, especially for Shafter. But it's part of the game, and I hope we don't see the heads drop.
We're talking about Kennedy's defense, but their offense has shined tonight, throwing the ball and running the ball like they have.
Yeah, they put up a lot of yards tonight, and they played
complete football game.
Yeah, they have. They played very, very well. See, Guerrero has the ability to really kick the ball deep, and right now
I would think I would do it right now.
Yeah, I'd definitely kick it deep.
Unless they try to go onside. Looks like they are.
Didn't go 10 yards. So Kennedy will have great field position. That was a good idea. I mean, what do you got to lose, right?
Yeah. It's just now they have the ball in really, really good field position.
Yeah. Deep in Shafter territory, be inside the Shafter 30. There's 6 minutes and 14 seconds to go. Thunderbirds on top, 29-14.
If you're Shafter now, go for the turnover. Turnover. You have nothing to lose at this point. You need the ball back. Just try to create a big play.
So what do you do if you're Kennedy? You try and put the nails in the coffin, go deep, look for the big boy Helm, or just just pound away?
I think I just pound away. Just run the clock out. You don't want to risk an interception happening if you're Kennedy or something going wrong when you got all the momentum on your side right now.
Well, they're still going the pistol look. They got 45 De Leon in the backfield. And they're throwing the ball. There's a flag on the play.
Seen one of the receivers right there. He kind of squatted down, popped back up, and then took off. So you can't really do that. That'll be offside.
Yeah. It's procedure. Well, it looked like they were going to try and
throw the ball right there.
Throw the ball right there, and they're looking deep. But a procedure against Kennedy moves the ball back 5 yards. So now the ball is placed back at the Shafter 35-yard line. It'll be 1st and 15. It's one of those times where if you're a defensive player, you might take a little bit of offense to
throwing the ball like that.
Deep.
Yep.
A quick out. The big boy Helm, he's running down the field.
Helm is athletic. He's big, too.
Yeah.
He's a good asset to have on the outside like that.
Quick pass He gets down the field, picks up about 10 yards, knocked out of bounds at about the Shafter 26 to give him a 9-yard pickup. 2nd and 4. Excuse me, second. I said second. 2nd and 6. Comes the jet sweep to the right side, number 23. This time, again, Rafael Amador, nice job.
He's made some big tackles this half as well.
Yes, he has. Excuse me, that's number 22, Sanchez, senior running back. Lost in the play for about a yard, so it's maybe half yard. 3rd and a long 6, maybe a short 7. The ball spot at the shaft for 27. 5:08. Kennedy is in no hurry. Got De Leon in the backfield. Again, Roscoe back to pass, being chased. This time he throws the ball.
See, that's why I wouldn't throw the ball right there. That's an example.
Good pressure right there, Figueroa. Figueroa, he brings some nasty to the field. You know?
He's a physical player, and you always want players like that, both sides of the ball, too.
I mean, he's really not big. He only weighs $165, but he plays
bigger than what he is.
He plays, 20, 30 pounds bigger because he's not afraid to excuse me. Bring it. Okay, it brings up 4th and 7.
If you could stop him here, you still got a chance. I think Kennedy kind of hurt themselves throwing the ball here. They gave up a lot of time for Shafter to still be left in this game.
Yeah, because it's still a 2-score game. Big play here. Shafter's got to get the stop. Comes that counter, and they were waiting. There's Rafael Amador.
That was a really nice play.
That was an excellent play. You know what? He did a good job, stayed at home, and he was right there. That was the first time tonight where they gave Orozco, number 20, no room to run. And so Shafter gets a stop on downs. They take over at their own 30-yard line with 4:43. It's 1st and 10. So here you go.
Passing the ball, gave him some time left in the game.
I was very surprised that they threw the ball. Rhodes in the backfield. Oh, my gosh. Osborne under pressure.
Kennedy's coming after him.
Yeah.
They're blitzing 6 or 7 each down, and it's getting to the quarterback.
Second down.
I think they're talking about intentional grounding right here, too.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was outside the pocket.
Like to see the replay, but not that it matters.
Looks like they are going to call it.
They're going to call it intentional grounding.
It's a loss of down, too. That one hurts. Really, that's not Osborne's fault, though. He's getting pressured like that. He's just trying to throw the ball away.
Okay, this is confusing because they're throwing it from the spot of the foul. It should be from the original.
Yeah, that's.
I think they might have made a mistake there.
Looks like they're going to keep it, though.
Wow, that's very interesting. Quick pass outside. Keeps his feet. It's Figueroa, nice job. Tell you what, that was a great job. He was hit initially, kept his feet going. He's trying to get up quick. Got a few boys over there trying to mix things up. Here comes the replay.
Good play by Figueroa, breaking the first tackle.
Keep his feet in the ground, feet moving. Picks up an extra, 6-7 yards. So now it's a more doable 2nd and 12. The ball is at the Shafter 29-yard line. Excuse me, 3rd and 11 because of the loss of down. Rose out in the flat. Oh,
Kenny's a very good tackling football team, too. They're doing a good job. And we got another penalty flag.
looked like Bernal missed the block out there. Could have helped out, but see what the penalty flag is. Dead ball. Unsportsmanlike conduct against the Thunderbirds. That's a big break for Shafter.
Kennedy's really keeping Shafter in this game by throwing the ball and the penalties they're getting.
Yeah.
If I'm their coach here, I might call a timeout and talk to my team and just say, hey, settle down. The game's almost over. Just keep your cool.
So now the ball is in a position to where Shafter can be a little more aggressive. Not that they were trying to be overly conservative, but they're in their midfield. They're at their own 46.5-yard line, 1st and 10.
That was good pursuit by Kennedy there.
Yes. Interesting, they throw it to the short side of the field.
I think he's doing that so the offensive lineman can get out there quicker is my guess, but Kennedy's seen it so much now that they're starting to read it.
A loss of 2, 2nd and 12. The ball at the Shafter 45-yard line. 3:06 to go in the game. Draw. There goes Rhodes up the middle.
Got some room.
Got some room. Still moving. Good call, good run. And it seemed like uncharacteristic, our wideouts didn't block very well. Rhodes took a big shot. Number 28, number 5, mostly number 5. Here comes the replay. Yeah, number
Took
5,
big
shot.
that. Those plays are always hard, too, when you get stood up like that and you don't want to go down, but it's probably better if you do at that point so you don't take shots like that.
Yep.
If I'm Shafter, you got to get a playoff now. You're wasting too much time.
2:15 to go in the game. Yeah, Kennedy's doing a great job
all over the
pursuing.
place,
Pass was
yep.
complete to Sloan. Loss of the play. Timeout on the field to Shafter. Will bring up 4th down and about 6. The ball's placed at the Kennedy 48-yard line. They've got to get down inside the 43, 42 for a 1st down. Where they place it's closer to 2nd or 4th and 5.
And just the body language of Shafter, I think they're pretty tired out there right now. And Kennedy's got so many more players and just they can rotate so many guys. They're still fresh, and it makes a huge difference.
This is where the team is on offense. They need to go down, need to score, give themselves some confidence going into the next week game.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. 4th and 6. Espinoza in the backfield for the Generals. Osborne, he's down. Number 42 for Kennedy was in there, and that was Sebastian Duran. Like Osborne was trying to step up in the pocket. Good coverage. That was what they call the old coverage sack.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, too, Kennedy adjusted at halftime, which their coach has been known great for adjustments. And they started blitzing more. They started getting pressure on the quarterback, and it's really starting to show that it worked.
So with a minute 45, Kennedy takes over on downs. The ball is at the Shafter 47-yard line. And we'll see this time if Kennedy, now they're in the run formation. Running right up the middle off left guard. Number 41, that's the unknown runner, but again, tackled by number 24, Rafael Roman Amador. He's had a nice job the second half, but a pickup of about 4 or 5 yards. Give him closer to 6. 2nd and 4. The ball is right at the 40-yard line. Minute 17.
think one more play and they'll take some knees and that'll do it.
Once again, number 41 up the middle. Got Seha on the tackle. At the bottom of the pile, getting up. Number 24, Rafael Roman Amador.
And Kennedy and Chavez will be playing for the league championship next week. And then for Shafter, you cannot hold your head in this game. You got to learn from it because you got probably the biggest game of the year next week versus Wasco.
Yep. 3rd and 2. There's 35 seconds. They're in their victory formation. They'll take a knee. This will be the last snap, and you're right. What Shafter has to do, keep your head up. They didn't play badly. Kennedy played a better game tonight, and next week Shafter has to beat Wasco. They beat Wasco, they get at least a home game for playoffs. So, Jackson, it's been good working with you, man.
It's always a pleasure.
I appreciate all you brought into your insight here. For all of you out there, next week, Shafter versus Wasco at Wasco. For HQTV, this is Doug Thompson along with Jackson Sanchez, wishing you all a very good evening.